guys, welcome back. So in this video we are going to code for Odious number. Now many of you might know what Odious numbers are, but many of you don't. So if you don't know what are the Odious number, just keep watching that video. We will cover all of that. Now let's just see the original Wikipedia definition of Odious number. Now it says in number theory, actually odious numbers are those positive numbers which have odd number of ones in its binary representation. Now let's take an example. Now suppose you have a number called 4. Now if you want to check whether that number is odious or not, just convert it into binary. Now let me show you. Now it has only, now this is a representation of 4 in binary format, which is 001. Now it has only one in its binary representation, which is obviously an odd number of ones. Now let's take another example. Suppose I have 7. Now 7 has three ones in its binary representation. Now it is also an odious number. Now if I take the example of 5. Now 5 has only two number of ones in its binary representation, so definitely it is not an odious number. Now let's go for code, and we will code for that. Now we are coding this thing in Java, but you can implement this thing in Python, C, or any other language you have, but the format is same. Now I have already made the class called Odious, and I have also imported the package called util to take the input from the user. Now I'm going to make a main method, and I'm going to hit enter. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a object of scanner class to take the input from the user. So I have made the object of scanner class. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to define an int input to take the input from the user, and I'm going to take integer input. Now what I'm going to do is I have to change this number into binary format. Now instead of defining some logic or dividing by 2, now I'm going to simply say, I'm going to type string binary of input, and I'm going to say integer dot to binary string, and I'm going to say input. Now actually what this function do is it take the integer and convert it into binary string. Now we have done almost 70% of our task. We have to count the number of ones. Now I'm gonna say, let's say define a counter and initialize it by 0. Now I'm going to make a for loop called int of I is equal to 0, I is less than binary output dot length and I plus plus, and I'm gonna say if if input dot if binary output dot caret I is equal to 1, and I'm gonna say count plus plus. Now what this thing does is whenever it find any 1 in character at the position I, it will count the counter, it will increase the counter by 1, and we will get our answer that how many ones are there. So let's just say now we have done all the part. Now Now the only thing left is to check whether it is odious number or not, if and else condition, so that we can identify the odious number. So if, now remember that if number of ones are odd, then it will be a odious number. So modulus 2 is equal is not equal to 0, then we have to print number is odious, else we are going to print number is not odious. Now let's just, my spelling mistake, now let's just test this thing. I'm gonna run odious.main. It's gonna take some time. Now our class has compiled. Now we are going to give some input. Now let's just say 4, hit enter. Obviously number is odious because it has only one number of ones in its binary representation. Now let's just also, now what we are going to do is, let's just also print the binary representation. So I'm gonna say s out, and I'm gonna print binary of input, and I'm gonna run it again. Now our class is compiled. Let's just give an input again 4, and hit enter. Now you can see this is the binary representation and this is the result, whether it is odious or not. Let's just again run it and give some another input. Let's just say, let's give a non-odious number, which is obviously 7, not 7, 5. Yeah, number is not odious because it has two number of ones in its binary representation. Let's just give another big number. Let's just say 11, hit enter. Yeah, obviously it is also a odious number because it has three number of ones in its representation, binary representation. So that's it for today, guys. If you have different logic of that number, please comment on that video, and we will meet you in the next video. Till then, bye and keep safe.